Hello BookTube, my name is Emily and today we're going to be talking about The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is book 1 in a new series and this was released in January of this year, and I am giving this book a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I don't personally think it lived up to the hype. I'm extremely disappointed in this book. I felt like it could have been written a lot better. The characters were terrible. Even the writing felt very immature and amateur-like to me. I will say I love the cover. Whoever designed it did an amazing job. I love how bright the background is with the gold branches and crown, and also the book cover without the dust jacket is stunning with this gold foil print and this viney whimsical design. I just think it's absolutely stunning, so kudos to whoever designed the cover. I'm absolutely obsessed. But sadly that is as far as my enjoyment of this book goes. So I'm gonna read you guys the synopsis because I also think the synopsis was written beautifully and I really wish the rest of the book was written this well. And so basically the synopsis is: guard your mortal heart. Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered, and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous high court of Fairy. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there despite her mortality, but many of the Fae despises humans, especially Prince Cardan, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, she must defy him and face the consequences. As Jude becomes more deeply embroiled in the palace intrigues and deceptions, she discovers her own capacity for trickery and bloodshed. But as betrayal threatens to drown the courts of Fairy in violence, Jude will need to risk her life in dangerous alliance to save her sister and Fairy itself. So I thought the book was going to be much more exciting than it was. Instead, I felt like it wasn't done well at all. I feel like Jude, our main character, is, I'm gonna say stupid, to be honest, because she always talks about how she hates being reminded of how to act whenever they go to the palace, because she says she understands how Fae are tricky, and she knows, like, because she's mortal, there are things she shouldn't do in order to keep herself safe, like don't eat the food of the fairy, don't dance, because once you start dancing you'll never stop, and things like that. And especially never make a deal with the fairy, because even though fairies cannot lie, they're still very smart in how they use their words, and they can trick you, and that's bad. So I feel like one of the first things she does is makes a deal with the fairy after going on about how she knows not to do that. And the reason she does that, she makes a deal with Prince Dane, who's the second or third oldest of the king, because she wants a spot because she wants to earn a spot in court, because she really wants to be a knight for one of the members of the royal family, but she was told she's not allowed to by Maddox, who is her older sister's real father, and he is also the general to the High King. And he tells her she's not ready for knighthood, even though she's been training for 10 years. And she's given this offer of becoming a spy for Prince Dane, and she accepts it because it's a spot on the court. I just thought it was very stupid because we don't know anything about Prince Dane. We don't know his motives. We don't know who he is as a character. And I feel like she doesn't either, so I feel like it was very rash. And we find out that we were right on that, how we find out that he really is a cruel prince. Prince Dane isn't even the cruel prince the book was named after. The book was named after Prince Cardan, who is the youngest of the sons. And I was expecting this cunning, wicked, smart, kind of mysterious character. But instead we got what I would call a middle school bully at best. He's basically give me your lunch money. He kicks dirt into Jude's food at lunch, or he threw Jude into the lake just to watch her struggle. I don't know, to me that's not what I wanted when I was thinking of a cruel prince. I wanted someone way more intelligent than that. Instead we got kind of an immature bully. So that was very upsetting. Also, the writing of this book was very disappointing. People say this is Holly Black's best book, and if it is, then I definitely will not be reading any of her other books, because a lot of the things she included in this book is something I would expect to read in a fanfic written by a middle schooler. There was one on, for example, on chapter 6, it starts out as, "I've told the story all wrong. There are things I really ought to have said about growing up in Fairy. I left them out of the story mostly because I'm a coward. I don't even like to let myself think about them, but maybe knowing a few relevant details about my past will make more sense of why I am the way I am. How fear seeped into my marrow, how I learned to pretend it away. So here are 3 things I should have told you about myself before but didn't." And then she continues on talking about those 3 things. Honestly, I feel like that's a lot of information dropped at one time, and she could have done that in a better way by like having like flashbacks or explaining it when it's a little more relevant. Also, the whole paragraph I just read, that is something I have expected to read in like amateur writing, like things on Wattpad or fanfic.net, not a professionally published book. I think it's extremely cheesy to add things like that into books. She might as well say, "Hello, my name is Jude and this is who I am." Like, I don't know, I really did cringe when I read that. I felt like it just could have been better. She could have done something else. I don't know what she could have done differently. I will say that I personally am not a writer. I felt like it could have just been written in a different way and just done better. Other things about the writing that I didn't like is there was a lot of irrelevant information she gave us. For example, at one point she describes how and when she uses the bathroom. She even gives us a description of her getting out of bed, going to a different room, lifting up her skirts, and urinating. Like, I don't know about you, when I'm telling a story about how my day was, I never include bathroom stuff unless something funny happened in the bathroom. But I don't really want to know the bathroom habits of the characters unless it's truly relevant to the story, which I don't think this is. I think Holly Black just added this in to make the characters be more relatable, but honestly, I just was kind of grossed out and I'm just like, I probably would have liked the book a little more if she didn't include it. Also, there was another part where she included how Jude's describing how she goes to the mortal land and has to go to CVS to get a pack of like tampons or something. And then she goes into detail about how fairies take care of that business. And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's just so embarrassing." I'm like, first of all, if it's so embarrassing, then don't tell us. Second, when she said, "Oh, I bet you're wondering about fairies and how I deal with this," honestly, I was never wondering that. Never in the book do I wonder, how do they take care of their monthly business? I just don't see how that's relevant to the story at all. Again, I don't go around telling people about that part about myself. I just felt like we could have just done without it. I didn't see it's necessary. Maybe she wanted the characters to be more relatable. Honestly, I just was really annoyed. And again, that is something I expect to see out of a story written by middle schoolers on like a fanfic app, not a professionally published book. And like, I didn't like the whole Locke Taryn plotline. First of all, I would never in my life allow anyone to play with my sister's feelings the way Taryn allowed Locke to play with Jude's feelings. Like, if I knew that someone was going to mess with my sister or my brother in any way, especially when it comes to romantic feelings, I would probably, I don't know what I'd do, but I probably would hurt them. I'm not gonna lie, like, I will allow that. And then seeing Taryn know the plot of Locke messing with her sister's feelings like that, I was actually disgusted. I disgusted Holly Black for even playing with that idea. I don't allow that. I will do everything in my power to prevent it from happening. I love my siblings too much to know of a plot like that and let it happen. I know that Taryn just wants to have her place in the court, and she wants to do it by marrying someone, and that Locke promised to marry her if she allows it to happen. But there's nothing in the world that will make me portray my siblings like this. Oh! The only character I absolutely loved was Vivian, because I wish the book followed Vivian's point of view, because after we see the parents are murdered, Vivian is so upset with Maddox, who killed the parents, and she goes on saying how she'll never forgive him, she'll hate him forever, and do everything she can to let him know that she hates him. So after we see the parents are killed, I was expecting there to be this like revenge plot that was gonna like be part of the main plot, and we never got that. Instead, we see Drew saying, oh, I know I should hate Maddox, but I don't. And I wanted Drew to be angry. I wanted this like hatred for Maddox. I want her like to like, or even if she does have like positive feelings towards him, I still want like some like bitter feeling towards, like I wanted anger. Like if I was in Jude's place and my parents were murdered in front of me, I would never ever forgive the person who did that. I would be furious. I would want revenge. Like I don't think there's any part of me that would have been okay with that and like forgive him the way Jude forgives Maddox. So I wish we got this anger. I wish we see this like bitter feeling from Jude, and we don't. Instead, we get this, oh, everything's fine mentality, and I hate it. I hated that, because I don't think that's a realistic way of reacting to this kind of event. I just felt like she doesn't act like a normal person would. So I was very disappointed in that. Yeah, I think that's all I want to rant about. I feel like I could rant for hours, but my phone has limited storage right now, and I've deleted so many pictures and apps off my phone, so I'm signing off. Please give a big thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on the book, if this was your favorite book. I'm sorry that I just destroyed it. I'm not actually sorry, but I'm glad you like it. I didn't like it. I'm sad I didn't like it. Please give me, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell to get notifications when I post again, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!